potential CA to a radio jockey.
As women, we are told that अगर आप HR में job कर लोगे ना तो आपकी life set हो जाएगी. I decided to do something different with my life. On Google, and you look for gadgets for women, what you're gonna get to see is vacuum cleaner,
Hair dryers,
microwave. Why are we trying to push ourselves in those spaces where we are again put in the boundary which we are trying to break for such a long time? Gadgets that women should have within themselves is confidence, self-worth,
right?
And then of course discipline. अब मैं ना Miss India वाला जवाब दे दूंगी तो आप बोलोगे oh. I'll give them disgusting looks if they're eating too much.
Do you cook?
No.
The tables have turned. I'm asking you questions.
I know, it's been so awkward. I don't know what to say. जोधपुर में मेरा एक आर्टिकल आया था. जोधपुर की बेटी श्री अमिताभ बच्चन से मिली.
Welcome to Women of Wonder by Reema Mahajan, or Wow Women as we lovingly call it. This is our initiative to bring to you stories of empowered and ambitious women so that we can all take inspiration from them. My guest today is a very well-known radio jockey. But what you didn't know is that she's also a tech enthusiast. She runs her own podcast and is a voice that has been heard by millions of listeners in Dubai. Welcome to the show, Shruti. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure. And I've been a follower of your work as well. And I must say, you're doing a great job of empowering all of us. We'll really love it.
Well, we were very excited to have you on the show because we've done multiple RJ interviews before, but this one is going to be different because I am sure, because I think we're going to talk about tech. And I would love to start with your innovative show, Take It Easy. Tell us more about it. How did it come into being? Because a woman talking about tech is not very common.
I think, that's pretty much what your idea is also, right? Breaking stereotypes.
Yes,
so let's do that. Let's begin with that. Okay, so actually Take It Easy is kind of a sub-segment of my radio show, which is #trending. It is primarily focused on everything that is trending in the world of social media. And I have a little backstory about myself is that I have this thing about constantly reading, researching, and getting to know every detail of everything that I've ever tried on. As we all understand today, social media has become a very important part of all of our lives. So as I was trying to understand the whole nitty-gritties of it, I started going deeper and deeper into it. And I started sharing that with my inner circle as well. So things that you would think everybody would know sometimes become a very important, little something that changes someone else's perspective towards the whole social media. So I was very happy to share those tips and tricks. And then my friends only told me that you should kind of make a podcast or something about this so that people can get to know. And I was like, the easiest way to do that, if I'm sharing social media tricks, is to make it on Instagram. So that's how we started the Reels. And yeah, kind of that's just how it came about.
So according to Take It Easy, which are the best 3 gadgets for women in 2024?
I would like to be a little philosophical here and say
Go
that
for
the
it.
gadgets that women should, have within themselves is confidence.
All right.
Okay. There should be self-worth.
Right.
And then, of course, we should definitely have one very important thing, and that is discipline. Because when you go out on social media today or on Google and you look for gadgets for women, what you're going to get to see is vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Microwave.
Hair dryers.
Yeah. But these are not the gadgets that are ever going to make or break us.
Right.
So why are we trying to push ourselves in those spaces where we are again put in the boundary which we are trying to break for such a long time? So bring about that confidence and then grab whichever gadget you want. Everything is going to be a help.
So, but going back to that, iPhone or Samsung, which one is
Oh.
it? The debate continues.
Okay, you have to understand one thing. Everybody who lives here, especially
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
will obviously talk about iPhones. I've been an iPhone person. Before that, I was into BlackBerry. And then since I moved to iPhone, which was in 2012, iPhone 4, I've never gone to any other.
So you still don't get envied by Samsung pictures?
No, not at all. I look good in all the pictures. Why should I bother?
Brilliant. Lovely. Moving on to your other venture, you also run a podcast, right? And I think it's a new one. You've recently been launching it. Tell us about the top 2 or 3 reels which have received amazing response.
Okay, so funnily, when I started the Take It Easy segment, it was kind of from the perspective that the basic most things are the most, embarrassing for anybody to ask. So, sometimes what happens is if you know something, it's easy for you to believe that everybody would understand. Duh, everybody knows this. But that's exactly what the idea of Take It Easy was, to share more of basic stuff while everybody's advancing towards the most influencing transitions and all of that. But how exactly do you even open an editing app and put your video in and upload that, and how you cut that little part out which you want to use? So that is where the whole thing started. And funnily, the video that actually has received about 27 million views on my page is a video where I'm talking about how to download a reel from Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
So that video it's a 15-second video where I'm just telling them how to just go on share, tap on download, and you will be able to download the video. And that video kind of received mixed reviews, mixed responses from everybody. Like a few of them were like, "Oh, thank you so much for sharing. We didn't know." And the others were like, "Duh, of course we knew." So that's the kind of content I like to share. And I think pretty much that's exactly what the audience is also really enjoying, because here we talk about everything that's basic without having to judge anybody. And apart from that, I really enjoy making those story videos. Today we have these amazing pictures, and
Yes.
we want to keep posting that, but you want to create something different with those pictures. So I toggle with a lot of filters on Instagram. I keep going on the search and keep looking for something new. If I find anything, I share that. And the third one, which I really enjoy, is posing, like the posing, tricks. A lot of pictures are just about awkward, especially because you didn't know how to take that picture with a mic or with a garland or anything. So those kind of things is primarily what I enjoy.
No, they're brilliant. I think some of those reels, like you said, have reached millions of people out there. But what's coming up in Tech and Easy? Do you have a plan of action?
Hopefully, I mean, one day it grows so much that Apple also flies me down to every launches, and I am able to cover that and bring it for my audience.
Well, inshallah, that might happen. But I do know you believe in manifestations.
I
right?
do. Yeah, I do actually.
Tell us more about it.
I think when Shah Rukh Khan says it, you got to believe it. And Om Shanti Om is the movie where he says that अगर आप अपने दिल से किसी चीज को चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसको आपसे मिलाने में लग जाती है. So that is pretty much power of manifestation that they are talking also about in the movie. And I personally feel like what you can do within yourself is really, really, really want to have something and do all the efforts that you can do. And after that, the end result is never in your hands, right? So that is where the power of manifestation comes through. Like you can probably have the best of the abilities, and if you do not envision it, you can never see it come to life. So I personally feel like manifestation has that power. If you want to ever achieve something, always first envision what you want at the end of it, and then start working towards it.
So what did you manifest in your life? Tell us more examples.
See, honestly, I think apart from radio, everything else has been a part of manifestation. Like, okay, what else can I do? How can I grow? What can, be achieved? What furthermore can be done within the career? Or what kind of a personal life do I want? All of these things have been a kind of part of my manifestation. But one very indirect manifestation is something that I would like to share, that sometimes, even subconsciously, you could be manifesting something without even realizing. So there was this sale that was going on at a furniture store. I was there to just have a look at the stuff, and I really liked one picture which was of the Empire State Building from Rockefeller Center. I bought that because it was pretty, it was on sale, and I brought it home and I put it right up on my coffee table. Now every single morning when I'm having my coffee, it's right there and I'm looking at it. It happened for like 2 years ago. I bought it without realizing that it's going to create anything for me. And last year, around this time, I was in the US.
At the same place?
At the same place. And there are a few observation decks now that you can go to have a look at that bird's eye view of New York, right? I don't know, somehow I just was more interested in going to a place where I can see Empire State Building from. Because somehow, if you go to Burj Khalifa, then what do you see? Not Burj Khalifa, right? So that was the whole idea that even I had in my head. And I went ahead and I booked Rockefeller Center. I was supposed to go in the daytime, in the morning, so that I can have a nice, clearer view. But somehow there was a lot of fog and they moved it down to the evening time. When I went in the evening, which was after sunset, and I took a picture, it was exactly the same as the picture I have right in front of me every day I look at
Oh my
in
God,
my house.
that's beautiful.
And this is not even something that I tried consciously to achieve.
Right.
It just happened. So this is kind of, where the vision board comes into play. Whatever you've been thinking about, just be very naive, be childish, be innocent about it, and just put it up there, because you never know, it can just come true.
So you believe in vision boards too?
Yeah, I do.
What's on the vision board for 2024?
To achieve what I thought of. I want to write, let's have a green tick,
Yeah.
so that whatever I've envisioned, let's just try and achieve that. Honestly, I haven't really thought about 2024 yet, because I've been going through a lot of personal stuff from the last 6 months. I'm like, okay, now this is the time I'm going to sit and I'm going to plan my 2024 properly, because you can't ever hurry these things up. You want to take your time and give your full throttle on, focus on whatever you want to achieve. So I haven't really thought about 2024 as such, but of course goes without saying that we're looking for progress.
I'm sure progress bigger and better from here.
Sure.
But you've already progressed and you've launched your own podcast, right? So that's the start into 2024. Tell us more about it.
Okay, that brings me to sharing this secret that I'm here because of that. Because I'm here to take pointers from you, Reema. You've been doing this for such a long time. Please tell me how to run a proper podcast.
We'll have a good team to support you.
Taking pointers.
So our podcast is called Women of Wonder, and this whole initiative is about bringing inspiring stories of women like you so that we can inspire more and more millions of women out there. So I am so happy and excited to share that we've reached out to 60 million views out there.
Wow.
And I think the mantra is consistency. We've been bringing on a woman week after week, every week, sharing stories, and also stories which are not known by everybody. The other side of you. Most of the women are public, but they don't share what the other side is. And this is where the Women of Wonder podcast works.
Fabulous. So if you don't mind me turning the table once again and asking questions, what about the challenges that you must have faced? Like, because my podcast is actually just 3 episodes old, and I can right now also see that there is a lot of work that goes even behind. So what are the challenges that you probably faced?
I think the challenges are always consistency, doing it week on week, and also the quality of the content and the output. And, being religious about it, that we have to shoot this month, we have to bring the best guests on the show, we have to produce quality content, which keeps the audience engaged. And I think that is for any show. I mean, even for radio shows, right? That is what your challenge is, to produce new content every day, which engages our listeners and viewers, essentially.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Turning the tables back to you. Tell us about tell us about your podcast. What's coming up? What's the idea behind it? Why did you start it?
So Between the Cheats is again another aspect of my personality. I mean, no person is like, you mentioned, just one dimensional. You have more than one way of, expressing yourself. So another thing is that I'm very, very interested in is nutrition and fitness. Within my circle, again, inner circle, I am the kind of person who would share knowledgeable stuff, and I would want to have everybody be fit and in the whole same space of their desired weight and everything.
Right.
So I keep sharing these things again within my inner circle. And I was working with my radio station, and they were thinking about starting a podcast with me, and I just could not think anything better than fitness, because I am a very big believer of, if you are fit within, then you can be fit outside, and you can be fit in your career as well. So for all of this, you need energy from within. So the idea again is to talk about not just my perspective and my understanding of nutrition and fitness from the perspective of a person who's done certification, but also bring in experts, talk about different lives, real life people who've really struggled with fitness and then probably have overcome. So it could inspire again the ones who are listening to us.
And fitness is not only physical fitness, right? Fitness is a whole lot of other things. Mental fitness, for example, plays an important role. So is your show going to cover all those aspects too?
Yes, the podcast is going to have a holistic approach. It is called Between the Cheats. So whether you're eating, whether you are working out, or whether you are in any kind of stress, we are all bound to have those cheat days. We're supposed to have those stressful days. But how do we...
chocolates.
Yeah. And how do we balance ourselves and our lives around those days between the cheats is what the podcast is going to be all about. So basically talking about myself as well. Like right now it's holiday times and I am eating all kinds of junk. But right after that, when I come back, is where I will be back on track. So between those cheat meals, stressful days, the days when you do not work out or don't want to work out, how do you balance yourself out is kind of the idea behind the podcast.
Brilliant. We wish you all the very best and we look forward to the upcoming sessions. But now let's roll back a couple of years. You come from Jodhpur, isn't it? Is that the
Did you just say a couple of years? Thank you.
I think you're very, very young. Let's say that. How long back did you land in Dubai?
2012. To be precise.
So about 10 years, 12, 11 years.
11 years. I briefly had gone back. So when once I was talking to a friend of mine and they're like, no, you've not spent a decade yet because I have gone back for about 2.5 years. I was back in India. So I say about 10 years I've been in this country.
Right.
So when I was studying in Bombay, I also briefly ended up going for HR classes, which was for one thing that, as women, we are told that agar aap HR mein job kar loge na, to aapki life set ho jayegi. So I kind of started doing those as well. And I started working for a company, a very well-known company in India in HR. Since I was coming from finance background, my job was to actually do the negotiations about the monies with the engineers while I'm still in graduation.
Wow.
But it was back then when I realized that, this is too monotonous for my liking. Like every morning waking up, going to the office, coming back and then just doing exactly the same thing the next day was kind of
boring, not exciting.
Yeah, not my kind of life I was looking for. And then so that is where I decided to do something different with my life.
Okay, so from HR to radio, how did that happen?
Okay, so I was doing this HR while I was studying, but I come from a family of scholars. So हमारे background में ऐसा होता है कि जब तक आपने PhD नहीं किया ना, तब तक आपकी पढ़ाई खत्म नहीं हुई. You got to be a doctor to call yourself all well studied. So because of which, I was actually, after my MCom and MBA, I was going to go to Australia to study for Certified Professional Accountancy, that's CPA, which is equivalent to CA in India. While waiting for my loan to get cleared, a friend of mine called me up and said that there is a voiceover that needs to be recorded. My presenter friends are busy right now, but could you come and help me out? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Because in college, we've all been into this extracurricular space and we all love to, singing and dancing. So I was like, yeah, I'll go. That voiceover was for about just 10 minutes. And I ended up spending 4 hours in recording that because it was very difficult.
Wow. Okay.
But it was for a very, very known network in India. And I would not be able to take the name over here because we have a competition here as well.
That's all right.
So it was a very, this thing in India. And they called me. They did an audition of mine. And they really liked my voice. And they just said that, we can't promise you a job right now, but we'll definitely make you an RJ. So intern with us. And since anyways, I was waiting between my college, spaces. I was anyways waiting. So I was like, okay, let me do that. And within 15 days, they actually offered me a role, and I interned in Jodhpur. I went to Ajmer to do my first job. Then in about 8 months, I moved to Jaipur. Then I went to Mumbai, where I was back home.
Yeah.
I worked there for a little while, and then I came to Dubai. So this whole thing happened pretty much in 2 years and 7 months.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And from a potential CA to a radio jockey.
From potentially
from
potentially a lot of money to
making a lot of money. And
making a lot of
fame.
Fans.
A lot of fame and a lot of fans.
Yeah.
So how are you enjoying the current world of fame and fans and following?
We are so blessed that we live in this part of the world. The followers, the fans are genuinely very nice to us. Either they are scared that they shouldn't be talking about stuff, but genuinely they are very, very sweet to us. So at the days, on the days when you have those low periods, you can always go to your social media, fall back on their comments and realize that there are some people who really genuinely care for you, and that makes us happy and keeps us going.
So you do a lot of, I've seen different facets of you, tech, nutrition, RJing, modeling. We spoke about you in Studio Blue podcast also, right? Which of these is very close to your heart? I'm sure all of them are.
अब
but
मैं ना
we'll-
मिस इंडिया वाला जवाब दे दूंगी तो आप बोलोगे अपने
नहीं,
बच्चों में
नहीं,
कैसे
हमें-
फर्क करेंगे
हमें
हम?
अवार्ड विनिंग आंसर चाहिए.
हाँ, तो अपने बच्चों में कैसे फर्क कर सकते हैं हम? All are my babies. But genuinely, I think it all started for me with radio. So radio is always going to be very, very special. Till date, if we are on radio, it is because of the pure passion that we hold for it. So radio is always going to be the number one, priority in my life. I love being on the radio, talking, playing that music, the song that you have requested for, reading the messages that we receive is just fabulous each day. I can thank my stars for just giving me the kind of job that I enjoy every morning, no matter what. Having said that, I would definitely want to mention a little bit about Studio Blue as well. I'm loving what they do. They are promoting sustainability. There is this unnecessary competition on social media where you have to wear different clothes every time. While I am not a big believer of that, we still, if are in that pressure situation, you have something to fall back on without having to clutter your your wardrobe, your cupboard. That is the idea which I really enjoyed about Studio Blue. And if it's happening for the first time in Dubai and I get to be a part of it, why not? So yeah, I'm really excited about the journey that we have started and really looking forward to having more sustainability and just more things to wear without having to spend a lot of money, practically speaking.
And the
for
outfits
us.
are gorgeous, and the
Oh, yes.
team is amazing. So Sabita ji was on our podcast too. Shiveta, we all love anyways.
Yeah.
She's brilliant at what. And the concept is so new in Dubai. So
True.
we are glad to be a part of the journey too when we brought her into the podcast.
In fact, I would like to add to this that when you go to Studio Blue, you actually get a stylist without even having to hire a stylist.
Exactly.
Because Shiveta will take care of your looks and what jewelry will go with it.
Yeah.
So imagine you getting professionally dressed up by spending just fraction of what you would otherwise spend. So it's just amazing.
And they have brilliant success stories. They make you look so gorgeous in all your outfits.
Yes.
And I've seen brilliant reviews of them on all platforms.
I agree.
Brilliant.
I have my pictures to also vouch for the same.
We wish the team of Studio Blue a big, lots of love and all the very best. It's a great concept. Sabita ji and the whole Studio Blue team. Shiveta, we love you. Absolutely. Shruti and I are just all over you. Shall we move on to our next section then?
Yes, please.
This section is called Rapid Fire Round.
Okay.
I call it the Direct Dil Se round. This is all about knowing the other side of you. This has a hamper. Which is really special hamper. It's not Churaut from Coffee by Karan.
Yeah. Because there's no competition, so मेरे को तो मिलना ही है ये.
Exactly. आपको दे के जाएंगे, पर हम आपको जान के दे के जाएंगे. And the hamper is very special for us because, as Indian women Dubai, we are a platform of women entrepreneurs starting their second careers, right? So everything in this hamper, from the mug to the raisin tray to the bouquet, everything in this hamper, even the packaging comes from a woman entrepreneur trying to start a new business.
How nice is that?
So that's what our mission is, to support as many women to feel more confident, empowered. And, but you have to win it. Otherwise, nahi dungi main.
No, I will earn it. I will do my best to earn it.
Brilliant. Tell us about an uplifting song that you love.
I really like Suraj ki baahon.
मैं गाऊंगी ना,
नहीं, गा के सुना दो. मैं इसीलिए तो गाने बजाती हूँ. I want radio so that I can play the song.
नहीं,
ये misconception है कि आवाज अच्छी है तो गा सकता है. नहीं, उसके लिए सुर चाहिए होता है.
Okay, we'll excuse you this time. Next time गाना सुन के रहूंगी. What's a proud habit?
That I eat right and work out moderately, and I make sure that around me people are also doing the same thing. I'll give them disgusting looks if they're eating too much.
घर में कुछ जंग नहीं आता फिर.
नहीं आता है, of course आता है. You've got those bingy nights also. You've got to have those with your Netflix times. Yes. But when you eat right, you are able to have those days as well. You're excused.
So are you enjoying the holidays? Did you really enjoy the December holidays or not?
Yeah. Right now I'm between the cheeks.
There you go. Who's been your dream interview you've interviewed so far? Who's been the guest on your show and you're like, oh my God, I've arrived?
Oh, arrived. I mean, it goes without saying that it has to be Shri Amitabh Bachchan. When you get to interact with him, there is no looking back. And it was such a proud moment for my family that in India, actually, Jodhpur में मेरा एक article आया था कि जोधपुर की बेटी श्री अमिताभ बच्चन से मिली.
Wow, that is brilliant. And what was he like in person?
He is so humble. The best part about this person is that he's a mega star of the millennium and whatnot. But this is one thing that I've seen actually is in common with a lot of these mega successful people, they're very, very down to earth and humble. They will give you your due, they will give you your space. Nobody's airy. And I think it's
That's
just
brilliant.
the amazing part of it.
Oh, wow, you are one blessed girl to meet Amitabh Bachchan ji. That's amazing. Tell us about your favorite cuisine. Which one is irresistible?
Desi khana.
Chaat papdi ki gulab jamun?
No. Not so much of sweet. I think I would rather enjoy a pav bhaji and kadi chawal and khichdi, patta gobi ki sabzi. All of these things I like. And especially when I go home, मतलब मेरे घर पे एक जोधपुर में एक चीज बनती है, इसको बोलते हैं बाटिया. तो मोटी रोटी होती है जिसमें घी डलता है बहुत सारा.
Dal bati churma.
No.
That's
It's a different thing altogether. It's a moti roti, which is normally जैसी रोटी होती है ना, उसके 3 layers वाली रोटी होती है, but it has a lot of ghee in it. So growing up, I've had that. And right now also, whenever I go home, my mom will make sure that she gives me that.
Sounds very tasty. I have to try it one day. Moving on, other than phone, which is your go-to tech gadget? Phone to allowed nahi, that is everybody.
Yeah, that is
gadget.
true.
But what else? Can you not
Apple
have?
Watch then. If I can't check my phone, I've got everything here. My messages are here. My steps are here.
Right. And do you close your rings every day?
Right, between the cheeks right now.
Achha maan hai. Okay. What is the one skill that you wish to master?
Actually, in that perspective, I'm a typical Virgo. I would like to master every skill that if I ever try. अगर मैंने baking भी करनी है तो मुझे बहुत अच्छे से करनी है. Like I want people to say, तुम क्या बनाया है यार?
Do you cook?
No.
Okay.
But जिस दिन करूँगी अच्छा करूँगी. But little I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, any skill that I would want to master is something that if I start, I would want to master.
Who's the most admired figure that you look up to? Historical.
Okay, there are 2 people. एक present का बताती हूँ, एक past का बताती हूँ. Present is Priyanka Chopra. I love the zeal, the confidence, the sheer raw charisma she's got, and the confidence to go and just move mountains. सिर्फ Hollywood, Bollywood ही नहीं, Hollywood भी हिलाया उन्होंने. So she's amazing and she's really good with you as well. She's like वो lady Shah Rukh Khan उनको कहते हैं. There is a reason for that, and the reason is that she really respects you. When you are in front of her, she will give you all your space and she'll treat you really, really nice. And I just admire the confidence that she has, that she can just rock any situation you give her. And if I was to talk historically, I think I've really enjoyed Columbus. Talking about Columbus, Christopher Columbus, because यार उस जमाने में जब कोई चीज नहीं थी वो निकल पड़ा ढूंढने के लिए चीजें
पहुंच गया
और क्या निकाल के दिया उसने. तो उस तरह का कीड़ा होना चाहिए अपनी लाइफ में if you want to like make it big.
Wow, that's really good. Okay, what's your favorite relaxation method? How do you switch off?
I actually can switch off very easily. मेरा दिमाग आधा टाइम मैं बंद ही रखती हूँ. It's easy to deal. Who's going to be looking at and thinking about the world? एक बहुत ही अच्छी saying है जो कि मैं बचपन से सुनते हुए आई हूँ और मैं रिपीट भी करती हूँ. किस किस को देखिए, किस किस को रोइए, आराम बड़ी चीज है, मुंह ढक के सोइए.
क्या बात
Thank you.
amazing.
So if I've got a day off, I am sitting right in front of my Netflix. I am just binging on my popcorns. I'm enjoying that. I can be listening to great music and I could be dancing on those high energy numbers, or I could be just driving around. I like all of these 3 things.
Brilliant. Switching off is a big skill though. I'm sure you understand, right? क्योंकि आजकल लोग काम में ही घुसे रहते हैं. So if you have that magical talent, you are blessed.
I am switched off right now. Like I said, very happily I accepted that 24 का मेरा कोई plan नहीं है क्योंकि मैंने सोचा ही नहीं है. जब चालू करेंगे तब बना लेंगे. There has to be those days when you just very happily and guilt-free you can take your days off.
Yes. And enjoy one day at a time.
Correct, because you don't really know whether there is a tomorrow or not. And this is the youngest you that you are today of your rest of the life. So why not enjoy it?
Absolutely. Very well said. इसीलिए मैं आपको लास्ट क्वेश्चन तो पूछने ही नहीं वाली हूँ जो हमें मिला है, which is the goal for the next year.
To achieve all that we've thought of.
Exactly.
And to be super successful.
Absolutely.
And to feature you in my podcast.
Oh, brilliant. One day we will do that. And I'm sure you'll enjoy, because अभी आपको कैसा लग रहा है? The tables have turned. I'm asking you questions.
I know, it's been so awkward. I don't know what to say. Now I'm thinking what both people must be thinking about the whole time. I'm asking questions. I remember this happened with Deepika Padukone. I asked her, what is your fitness mantra? Like, she's so fit. She's like, kya bolu? So I'm like, Reema, kya bolu?
Brilliant. So ना अभी कोई बात नहीं. One day I will come to the podcast and then you can ask all fire back all the questions. बदला ले सकते हो आप.
बदला लिया
But
जाएगा.
with that, you have graciously won our hamper.
Yes.
The Women of Wonder hamper. There's a little pampering voucher also from one of our favorite saloons. So please do try it.
I would like to thank my mom, my dad for having me, Reema for giving me this, all the women entrepreneurs who have really put in their work, their time in creating this, and thank you.
So sweet. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. Now, the last segment of the show is for inspiration.
Okay.
We have a lot of women in our community who are looking for hope. Every little word of inspiration counts. So what's your message to all the Indian women of Dubai watching this podcast?
You know, there are 2-3 things that I feel on a daily basis we must try to alter. One is really start practicing self-love. ये जो social media का पूरा world है ना, it is, we all understand that it is filled with filters, but we still end up comparing ourselves with those filtered faces. Let's not do that. Wake up in the morning, look at yourself and say, I love you, because this is the only person who spends the most amount of time with you and is the most honest with you. So I think that is the first thing that we must try and do. The second one is, like you said, you know, to be hopeful in your life, you have to manifest. But at the same time, you should be able to switch that, you know, back to enjoying your moment as well. वो balance find करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है, वो tuning की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. जैसे ऐसे ऐसे tune करते हैं, फिर 89.1 आता है, then you listen to us. वैसे tune in कीजिए, you know, fine tune your life and try and find that balance. It really helps. It does.
Brilliant. And it's been brilliant having you on our show. Thank you so much, Shruti, for taking out the time. Manifestations and self-love are the key messages from our Women of Wonder today. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and share this channel. And we'll be back with another Women of Wonder very, very soon.